So, a couple years ago, I had an uncle who was walking home after a long, hard day's work. And he traveled about 2.5, 3 miles to and from work every day. And between him was this really thick, lush forest that he, during the day, enjoyed heading toward work through, but at night it became something a little more sinister. So one day he was walking back home, and it was evening, the sun had set. There's a little dusting of snow as the season was turning. And he thought he was alone, and so he didn't think anything. And just started humming to himself a little bit. And then he heard in the distance someone sort of humming a refrain. And he turned and he saw in a parallel trail that he was taking home, there was another man, a stranger, who was walking through the dark. And they turned and looked at each other. My uncle was a little afraid of the stranger. And they entered the forest, and it got dark. And the shadows loomed heavy. And the stranger looked over at my uncle. And this stranger was scared of my uncle. And as they got into the denser portions of the forest, sound seemed to dampen as it does in a blizzard. And my uncle wasn't making any sounds, and his footfalls weren't making any sounds, and he looked at the stranger. And my uncle was terrified of the stranger. And the moon hid behind clouds, and the breeze kicked up, throwing snow flurries between them. And darkness seemed to wrap her arms around the two of them. And the stranger looked at my uncle. And my uncle looked at the stranger. And he was horrified about the stranger. The blizzard kicked up, surrounding my uncle and the stranger. And the stranger turned to my uncle slowly. And my uncle looked at